Hey everybody, welcome to T. Roy Cooks. Appreciate you joining us again. And welcome to another Thursday Chatting with Troy. Cheers to you. If this is your first time here, this is where I answer viewer questions. At the end of this video, if you've got a question for me about cooking or barbecue or some products you see me use, ask them in the comments down below. If you're interested in any of the YouTubers I may mention and how to get to their channels or any products I may mention, or even my own social media links and stuff, you want to find out how to contact me, hit show more down beneath the video. That'll open the description box and everything's down there for you. And I can't thank each one of you enough for giving me your feedback on the description box after last week's Thursday chat. Man, I've got so much way beyond, way leaning towards keeping the description box. Maybe I had one or two people that said they don't really use it, but they did mention that it's nice to have it there in case they ever did need to learn something that was in there. So again, overwhelming response. I truly appreciate it. Let's get this show on the road. Let's see here. Looks like _bad. I may have missed the first letter on that, so I apologize for that. Let's just call you T Bad. How about that? Says, I have a question. I have a garbage tiny charbroil offset smoker and I'm looking to upgrade. I have a limited experience using my smoker, but I want to learn, and my options that I have are between the pit barrel cooker, the Weber Smoky Mountain, and an offset smoker in that price range. I really don't need it to be huge. I just need it to be able to cook a large pack of brisket without issue. The Yoder Wichita and Cheyenne look very nice, but it's far out of my price range. I have a feeling you're going to recommend the Weber Smoky Mountain, but I wanted to see if you had possibly could offer an offset in that price range that you think is a good product. I really like the flavor of a stick burner, but most good ones are approaching 1,000 as I can see it. T-Bad. Under 1,000 bucks, or let's say the same price range as the Weber Smoky Mountain and the pit barrel cooker. $300 to $400, less than $500 range, let's say. What I would suggest is they do make a pretty good, it's not, you get what you pay for a lot of times, but a really nice, decent smoker that's an offset that you can get is made by Old Country. Check them out. You may find some also that I think New Braunfels smokers make some, but I know like my brother had the Old Country Pecos and loved it. Tom Jones used to have the Old Country Wrangler, I believe, which is a little bit smaller, I believe. They're all within that less than $500 range, or right around there anyway. So you might want to check those out, and they cook very well. They don't leak a whole lot. They're better from what I've seen in action. My brother actually has one. Cooking on it, it doesn't look like it is needing any modifications to it to keep it from producing, a lot of billowing smoke coming out of the cooking chamber door and firebox door and all that stuff. But so what I'm saying is you probably wouldn't have to make very many mods to it. But yeah, the Old Country smoker available. I got me and my brother picked his up at Academy, but I think Bass Pro Shops also has them. Yeah, I wouldn't go with an offset that's like less than 300 bucks. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out for you. If you can't find one of those offsets that you like, then I would say the Weber Smoky Mountain, because I just like tinkering with the fire and adjusting vents. If you just don't want to adjust vents, go with the pit barrel cooker, man. It's a set it and forget it, and once you have that altitude that you're at dialed in on it, you don't have to adjust any vents. Just put some lit charcoal in there and let that baby rock on. So hope that helps to answer your question. Let's see what the next question is here. Cooking with a Little Spice. Y'all go check out her. Cooking with a Little Spice, man. Great channel. Oh, say it. Your channel is excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And so is yours. How long have you had your channel? Let's see. I started my channel in June or July of 2012. So we're coming up on 2012 and 7, about five years, something like that. I actually had my name Space Cowboy TX registered with YouTube as a user, I think in 2008. So I think YouTube shows my channel as starting in 2008. That's actually when I became when I had a login for YouTube. I didn't start my channel until 2012. So great question, and again, keep up the great work on your channel as well. Y'all go check her out, folks. Cooking with a Little Spice. Links down below in the description box. Click show more. Charles Mosley. Another awesome Q&A video. Thank you, Charles. My question for you is, do you or have you ever smoked salmon? If you do, what types of wood and or planks do you use? I've only smoked salmon once, and it was not on video. I smoked it on my Yoder Wichita. I smoked it on the firebox end of my cooking chamber. I want to say I smoked it about 325-ish, maybe. Around 325, and more than likely I had either some pecan or some post oak on it. That's usually what I fly with, is the post oak or pecan. It was turned out pretty good. I actually cooked it for one of my co-workers' wives that was at the crawfish boil in 2016, I think it was. Video on that is on my channel. But anyway, she enjoyed it. She loved it. And I have heard that with salmon and trout and stuff like that, other fish, fruit woods work really well. So you may want to use like some apple or some cherry or some peach, or tangerine wood or plum wood or grape wood. Heck, even JB gave me some wood from his fig tree out of his backyard. His wife's always canning, preserving figs and stuff. So he collects the wood and uses that in his pits, and that's some good smelling, good tasting wood, man. But fruit wood, there you go. I'd probably be the best option for you as far as comes to salmon and fish and stuff. Let's see, K Vic. Hey yo, Troy. This might not be your cup of tea, but do you know of any way to make vegetables fun on a smoker? Yeah, man. Wrap them in bacon. Fun on the grill. Man, I'll tell you what, I do love the flavor of grilled vegetables and fruit for that matter. The grilling on vegetables brings out a real nutty, buttery almost type flavor. Really, really good, man. And when you put fruit on the grill or something, it just produces a totally unique flavor separate from what you would normally get because of all the sugars that are being cooked out of it and caramelizing on the outer edges of the fruit and stuff. But man, I love grilled vegetables and smoked vegetables. Usually did you ask anything? Make vegetables fun on the smoker. Okay, so not really grilling, but on the smoker. Yeah, you could wrap them in bacon, like asparagus and stuff. Stuff some jalapenos or some poblano peppers. Stuff your peppers with, heck, some cheese and some pork and any number of different combinations of stuff. That's what we call poppers, jalapeno poppers. That's good stuff, and you can wrap those in bacon. Man, smoked artichoke is good. Smoked cabbage is good. All that stuff is excellent, man. Like cabbage, if you want, you can scoop out, hollow out a little hole in the middle, cut it in half, hollow out some center of it, and then put you like some type of like a cheese mixture in the middle, or maybe some, like you would a stuffed jalapeno, put that same type of mixture in the center and smoke that baby up, and then bring it inside, and you've got, cut a little flat spot on the bottom side of it. You've got basically a bowl of cabbage, with a hole in the center. You can take and dip stuff out of it. Good stuff, man. Cabbage is really nice. I've tried smoked broccoli. It's okay. Smoked asparagus is good. The thing with veggies though, you got to watch them, man. They actually cook pretty quick depending on how hot you got your smoker. And don't over smoke the veggies. They absorb a lot of smoke too. So I think one time I did broccoli and or maybe it's cauliflower, and I over smoked it and it's bitter. So you got to watch out for that too. But yeah, man, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Appreciate the question. Michael Montague. Hey T-Roy, got an unusual question for you. Have you ever had a paranormal or supernatural experience? Or just something really weird happen in your life that you couldn't explain? Keep making these great videos. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. And you know, not really. I have had like where I go and put down an object, you know, my keys or my wallet or something, you know, and when I go back to look for it, even though I know I put it there, it ain't there. So I'll go scrolling through the house, you know, checking out where I put it and everything, thinking maybe I just lost my mind, you know, because I'm getting older. And then I'll finally not find it, and I'll go back to that same spot where I knew it was before, where I put it, but it wasn't there. And then it's there. So stuff like that happens sometimes, you know. I just say maybe, you know, the angels are messing with me or something, you know. It's all good fun. I ain't never had no spooks around or anything, though. Let's see here. Jay, the guitar player. It got me looking forward to buying a first smoker. I think I'm going to wait and see if there's any sales on Memorial Day and start learning this fine culinary art. So, if cooking at 220 yields a better product than 250 or 75, would 200 or even 180 be even better? At what point does the lower temp become useless and detrimental to a cook? Perhaps you could experiment. Cheers to you, T-Roy. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. And I believe that you told me you got a Weber Smoky Mountain that you found had a little scratch or something on it, and you got it pretty cheap. So congrats on the new smoker, if that was you. I'm pretty sure it was, though. There comes a point where, especially with large roast type meats like your pork butts and your briskets and stuff, you're wanting to cook those until the meat is like really super tender, which is around the 200 mark, okay, Fahrenheit internal. So if you're cooking at 180, you're never going to reach that mark to get your meat at 200. It's only going to get as hot as, you know, unless you're wrapping it in foil or something maybe, but ideally you're not going to get that meat above 180 internal if your pit is only running at 180. You know, so there is a point. I wouldn't cook below 200 for any pork butt or any brisket. I have cooked at 210, 215, 220. I actually do prefer cooking at 215, 220. Takes a lot longer and you use up more fuel that way. But I just like the way it renders out the fat in the brisket and the pork butts. But 225 to 250, that's doable as well, okay? So yeah, there is some you can't go too low or your meat won't fully cook. How's that? Hope that makes sense. Let's see. What else we got here? RBC Bomber. What's your favorite music to listen to while you're smoking? There's a local Austin guy here that plays some classic type. I mean, he's got his own songs on his own music, but his style is more like country music was back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, he's old school. He's actually from Alabama, but you know, he's in his 50s now, mid 50s. Anyway, he's got a band here in Austin called it's Dale Watson is his name, D-A-L-E, Watson, and I love his music. So that's who I mainly listen to, but I also listen to other artists. You know, I'm old school. I like the classic type country, and I like the classic rock. So stuff from the 70s and 80s, maybe some early 90s. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Let's see. Paul Willis. Hi, T-Roy. Paul here from the UK. My friend Phil and I are having a cook-off chicken and ribs. Phil has the Yoder Wichita, and I have the Weber Smoky Mountain. We will be cooking at 225 Fahrenheit. This may be a silly question, but will they be done at the same time? Keep up the good work. And T-Roy, cheers. Cheers to you. Appreciate that. No, I doubt that they're going to come out at the same time, even if you're cooking at the same temp. The different cookers, depending on how big the cooking chamber is in the cooker, that's going to affect how much other meat you may have in the cooking chamber along with that chicken and ribs. That's going to have some effect. But even if you've got let's say you got two identical Yoder Wichitas or two identical Weber Smoky Mountains sitting side by side with the exact same amount of fuel in them. If you got two different pork ribs or two different chickens you're throwing on there, they're not going to come out at the same time. Every piece of meat is different. Everyone. I mean, you're not going to have identical pieces of meat unless they're manufactured like processed meat stuff. But no, just regular meat, it's never going to come out the same. It's not going to finish at the same time, which I'm thinking is what you were asking. It's just not doable. I can have two 10-pound briskets. One may be done at 12 hours, one may take 16 hours. I've actually done that, so I know that that's the case. And in all honesty, let's say you do have pretty much the same weight of chicken on the Yoder and on your Weber Smoky Mountain. The Weber Smoky Mountain's got a smaller cooking chamber, and I don't know this to be totally accurate, but in my mind, a smaller cooking chamber means it will retain more heat more effectively, and it won't use as much fuel, and it'll probably cook the meat a little faster than the larger Weber Smoky, than the larger offset cooking chamber would. But that's something that I could definitely test and try to find out, because I've got both the Yoder and the Weber Smoky Mountain. That'd be a good test. Where was I? Okay, that was Paul's question. Thanks for the question, Paul. All right, on to the next one. Mike Williams. What's your favorite rib rub? I use a variety of rubs personally. I use a variety of rubs personally. I just haven't found the one that makes me happy inside yet. I use mainly two different rubs, and I don't go out and buy all these different rubs testing them out. It's nice if somebody sends me some rub, I'll check it out, but unless it's really good, I'm not going to go buy it again, or I'm not going to go purchase it myself. But if it's good, I will. My two favorite are Oak Ridge barbecue rubs and Texas barbecue rubs. Now, I say that not having tasted all the rubs out there, so there probably are some other rubs that are out there that are really, really good, equal if not better. So, plus everybody's taste is different. So, what you may think is the best rub in the world, I may think it ain't worth a damn, But I could also agree with you too. So, everybody's taste is different. Just find one you like, stick with it, and support that business. Make sure they continue making that rub that you love. Like I love my local HEB. Somebody asked what HEB was. HEB is a local grocery chain in Central and South Texas. And my buddy Justin up at Baby McManiac said they're starting to venture up towards the Dallas area where he's close to. So I'm happy for you guys out there in the Dallas area. But it's just a large grocery store chain we have here in Texas. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. They're all kind of great products. So we do love them. And man, I forgot where I was going with this. Y'all help me out. Where was I going with this? Let me know. Where was I going with this? Had a brain fart. Talking about rubs. That's what happens when you're shooting live video like this, man. Oh well. My mind's just gone. I can't remember what it was. I was talking about rubs. Oh yeah, I know. HEB used to have in stock Red Monkey rubs. They no longer have it, but I would always go in there and buy that rub because I like their savory steak, and I think I can still get it off the internet. They have a website. In fact, I think they're in Kansas, if I remember right, or maybe Missouri. Yeah, I think it's Missouri. But yeah, I mean, I can still get it, but it was just handy having it at my local grocery store. So if I was running out, I could just run down to the store and grab some next time and go pick up some groceries. But yeah, man, the Red Monkey stuff's pretty good too. I hadn't had that in a while though, man. That was good. Appreciate the question, Mike. Joe Fiorino. T-Roy, how's it going, buddy? Long time follower and first time question. Appreciate it, Joe. Great to hear from you, man. Alright, Joe says, I'm in the middle of building a UDS smoker. I wanted to know what's your take on the water pan in a UDS smoker. I'm not sure, but I don't believe you would have one. But maybe one of your friends has one. He's talking about I don't have a UDS. Well, I've got a pit barrel cooker. I haven't actually cooked on it yet because it's been raining. In fact, today's gorgeous. First gorgeous day we've had in probably a couple weeks. Anyway, he says, I've heard a lot of people that a water pan isn't necessary in a UDS smoker. Now, don't get me wrong. I always spritz my food, even when I've added water in the bowl on my offset smoker, and add a foil pan to my Weber Smoky Mountain, or to my Weber kettle smoker, mainly under the food to catch the drippings, but I still add some water in the pan. Maybe it's a force of old habit. Anyways, as always, thanks for all the videos and the great tips along the way. Hope you and the missus are doing well. Take care, and God bless, my friend. Hey, thank you there. Appreciate all the question there. 2 or 3 of them in there, I believe. God bless you too, Joe. Me and Karen doing fine, man. I don't really think you need a water pan in the UDS. You know, the UDS gets a little bit different flavor in the meat than, let's say, the Weber Smoky Mountain, which uses the water pan. And the reason is because the UDS, all of that meat that's hanging in there, or even if you set it on the grill grate in there, the drippings from the meat hit the coals that are hot, and that produces a steam that kisses and it penetrates the meat. So you get some natural smoke from the juices of the meat itself hitting the fire and coming back up airborne back into the meat, and that gives you a unique flavor that you just can't get with the Weber Smoky Mountain if you're using a water pan. So in my opinion, I don't really think you need a water pan in the UDS. I will continue to use water in my water pan on my Weber Smoky Mountain though, because I do like that. I'll tell you who can probably help answer your question better, because I think he made his own UDS, and he put, I believe, if I remember right, he made a water pan to put in it for occasions. Phil, Daddy Cooks, showing you some love. Go check out his channel right here. If you're not already subscribed to Phil, y'all go ahead and subscribe to him right there. Just click the link up here. But get with Phil, email him. Just go to his main channel page, click About, and you can, in fact, if you don't know how to get to someone's main home page for their channel, just click on their name. You know, when you're watching the video, right to the lower left of the video, you'll see their name. Like mine says T-Roy Cooks with my little avatar icon. Just click my name, and that'll take you to my home page. Once you're there, click on About, which is just under the main background banner. You know, like mine's got the Jetson movie theater thing happening, you know. Right beneath that, towards the middle, you'll see next to the search box, which is actually a magnifying glass, not a question mark like I mentioned in the previous video. But right to the left of that magnifying glass, which is a search box, you can search my channel for other videos, is the About section. Click About, and then once you're there, you should be able to get someone's email address if they've allowed you to see it. So email Daddy Cooks. His name's Phil, great friend. And don't forget to subscribe to him. Show him some love. Appreciate the question, Joe. Let's see. Ion We 87. JB. Let's see. When smoking a 14-pound packer brisket on my Weber Smoky Mountain, I've had a problem of the briskets cooking too fast. 10 hours and 11.5 hours. That's pretty quick for a 14-pound brisket. The temps were at 225 and 250. I'd like it to take longer so that I can get a better bark. My theory is that since such a large piece of meat is covering the majority of the smoking surface, all of the heat is being moved past the brisket, therefore accelerating the cooking surface. Does anyone else have any experience with full-size packers cooking too fast on an 18.5-inch Weber Smoky Mountain? I'm going to try to find smaller packers, but thus far the best looking, with marbling and the shape of it and everything, the best looking ones have been 14 pounds minimum. JB, go check out JB. Ask him. He's got the 18.5-inch Weber Smoky Mountain. I would think you're pretty close to being accurate when you say that big 14-pound pack of brisket is basically not letting air flow around the brisket. The brisket is so large that it's covering the entire grill, and that heat's just rising instead of being able to go up and out. So you're not getting good air circulation. Plus, I don't know, you didn't mention if you're using water or if you're using sand or ceramic briquettes in your water pan. Honestly, it sounds to me like you're not using water. If you're not, try maybe using some water. You know, one thing I have noticed with the briskets like I get from Lobel's, they're prime. Or the briskets I get from Costco, they're prime. Those are going to cook faster than your Select or your Choice or other such lower grade meats if you're outside the U.S. The lower grade meats take a lot longer because there's less marbling within the meat. There's less fat. The ones that are real marbled, you're going to pay more for because they're better grade quality. You get a lot better flavor because of that marbling and texture. But they cook quicker because that meat renders out in the muscle of the meat and helps it cook faster. I mention that on a lot of my videos too when I'm cooking prime meat. Prime steaks cook faster than regular Choice or Select steaks. Getting a little windy on me out here. Yeah, I got one more question here. But check out JB, Southern, hang on, I'm thinking about somebody else. Louisiana Cajun Recipes. I gave him a shout out last week, so y'all can find his channel that way, checking out my last video, or just hit show more down beneath the video. I'll list his channel down there. Go subscribe to him, click his about section, and just like with Phil, shoot him an email. I bet he'll have some answers for you. In fact, I need to get JB on here sometime, man. That's a good idea. Next question, John Goober. Hey dude, happy 20th. Well, thanks, John. Appreciate that. Like I said, this is, I think, my 24th episode. He was talking about my 20th episode for doing a Thursday chat. I appreciate that, John. My question for you is, what are your top 5 rubs you would recommend to your viewers? Thanks a million and keep them coming. Top 5 rubs. Man, honestly, I don't use that many rubs. I like Oak Ridge barbecue rubs and Texas barbecue rubs. There is another one from here in Texas. But pause the camera. I don't do this often, but let me pause the camera. I'll be right back. Alright, folks. Sorry about that. I had to run inside because I couldn't remember the name of this, honestly. BigCountryBarbecue.com. I'll put a link to them down in the description box, but they've got some bovine dust, and they've also got this Simply Unique. And these folks are out of Allen, Texas, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, they're from Allen, Texas, right around the Dallas area. But y'all check them out. BigCountryBarbecue.com. Their rubs are excellent as well. So, sorry I had to run out, but those 3. That's the 3 that I use. And you can see these, you know. And there's come in nice bags, nice packed bags, resealable. Excellent stuff, excellent stuff. Did I flip the page over already? Yeah, I did. All right. On to the next one. Big Meat Sunday. I'm a buddy John. Where you at there, John? Y'all go check him out. Big Meat Sunday. Okay, so I have a question for you. If you had $5,000, what stick burner would you buy, and why would you choose that one? Does it have a warranty on the parts or the mechanisms, or what's special about it in comparison to others, or the one you have now? He says, I'm in a market for one, sorta, it's on my bucket list. I honestly know very little about what makes one better over another other than the obvious, build, quality, finished work, etc. Help a brother out, man. Then give me a huge shout out and tell everyone to watch all of my videos twice, and then tell all their friends to do the same. Y'all gotta check out Big Meat Sunday, John. Yeah, I'll put his link up here below, up here in the corner. I'm sorry. John's a hoot and a half, man. I love you, John. Man, I'll tell you what. You want a smoker or an offset that's got at least 1/4 inch thick metal on it, because that'll help retain the heat. You want one that is machined really well so that all of the doors close in such a way that they have a tight seal. You want a smoker that you're not going to have to go and modify to make it cook good. You want one that's going to cook good from the get-go, and you're usually going to pay for that. One thing that I have not cooked on, which I would like to try, is a reverse flow, like the Lang or the Jambo Pit. You know, some of those. Again, too, the more pricier ones, a lot of times you've got to order those, put money down up front, or maybe all the money up front, have them build the pit for you, which is nice in a way because they can customize it to more what you want, you know. So you can have extra features added to it that other people don't have. But you're gonna wait for it, and I'm talking not wait 6 weeks like for my Yoder. You may wait 6 months or more to get a pit if you have it custom built like that. But most of the time, that custom built pit is going to be one fine pit, one fantastic pit to cook on. And since it's sealed up so well, you're not going to have trouble maintaining the heat in it. It's going to be vented properly. You're going to use less fuel because it's not leaking. So, I mean, that, you know, honestly, $5,000, if I got anything else, it would probably be a reverse flow. I don't know which one. I mentioned the Lang and the Jambo Pit. They're both very nice pits. I've looked at the larger Yoders, and I'm not wanting to get into competition cooking or anything, so I don't need one on a trailer. But and I don't really need one bigger than the Yoder Wichita, which is, it's got a 20-inch pipe that was cut from. Because it's usually just me and Karen, and even if I have guests over, like I did with the brisket test where I wrapped 2 briskets and had one naked, there was plenty of room. I could have put 4, even more briskets if I used the second shelf. So the Yoder Wichita does fine with me. I had to stop, turn, and look at it because I miss it. I'm ready to fire that baby up again, man. Anyway, bottom line, John, and consider this too. I'm old school, so I like fussing with the fire. I like tinkering with the fire, stoking it, and, you know, putting wood on it and checking it frequently and messing with the vents. You know, I love the smell of the wood. I like the popping and the crackling of the wood as it's burning. And because of that, I like just the old traditional offsets like my Yoder Wichita. Even if I had $5,000 with all the different stuff out there, if I didn't have the Yoder, I'd probably go with something like a Gator Pit. Yeah, that'd be my second choice. The other pits, I don't know. I think Lang probably makes a small one too. Again, you're talking about five grand. I probably wouldn't use the entire $5,000 because there's some really well built pits that come in like even like $3,000 or less. So unless you're just wanting a massive pit or one that's diamond studded or something, you're probably not going to spend $5,000 even for a really nice pit. So just do some research, man. I wouldn't hesitate to buy my Yoder Wichita again. I'll tell you that. I love it. Let's see. I'm trying to decide if I want to answer this one right now or not. Give me just a second. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and answer it. Wilfred West. Love the video. I have a Green Mountain Davy Crockett smoker, and I find it hard to get the right times and temps to get the best out of it. Any help would be great. Most of the info out there is for bigger meats. I'm not real sure I understand your question, Wilfred. I honestly don't know what the Green Mountain Davy Crockett smoker is, buddy. But usually with any smoker, trying to get the right times and temps, that's gonna vary on the smoker. It's gonna vary with the meat, how large your meat is. Maybe you're talking about the info's out there for bigger meats. Are you like trying to just cook like a brisket flat or something? Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, Wilfred, I apologize. I'm just not fully understanding what your question is. I would say if you're just using a smaller cut of like brisket, like the brisket flat or brisket point by itself, instead of a full packer, you may need to wrap it with some tinfoil or butcher paper to get it to come out right. As far as the time and temps, every pit's different. Just learn your pit, learn your smoker, and adjust to it. Like when I say I'm cooking at 225 and I've got a full packer brisket, which normally at 225 Fahrenheit takes, let's say 1.5 hours per pound. All right, now I know what I'm talking about, but what I'm not telling you, and what may be confusing you, is I'm not telling you that I'm using a select brisket. All right? If I'm using a prime brisket, it's probably going to take more like 1 hour per pound. But as I said a while ago, prime cooks faster. So if I'm using select or choice brisket, it's probably going to take 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours per pound. If you're cooking pork butt, general rule of thumb says if you're cooking pork butt at 225 Fahrenheit, it's probably going to take 2, maybe 2.5 hours per pound. I had one that took almost 3 hours. Is that right? Yeah, 3 hours per pound. It was just a stubborn pork butt. Wasn't anything I was doing. It wasn't my Weber Smoky Mountain. It was the pig. You know? So if you're having real issues trying to get stuff to come out, maybe try a better or lesser grade. Usually you have better luck with better grades of meat. Maybe buy your meat from a different store, or go to an actual butcher shop. If you're going to like a Walmart or something, try going to an actual local butcher shop and try the meat that they have, you know. So all those things take into consideration, you know, for the final times and temps and stuff. But bottom line is you got to learn, you got to know what meat you're cooking, and you've got to know your pit. So practice. You'll get the hang of it eventually. If you need foil to help, wrap it or use butcher paper. If that's making it cook too fast, leave it naked. Try using water. Put your little, one of them little aluminum pans or something in your smoker if you need to. Put a little water in there, or some beer, or some beef broth or something. See if that makes a difference. I hope that helps, man. I'm not meaning to sound negative or anything. I'm just saying every pit's different. Every piece of meat's different. Even different brand charcoal are different. Different woods burn different rates. Mesquite burns a lot hotter than hickory or oak or pecan. Apple doesn't burn as hot as hickory. So there's just a lot to learn. There's a lot to know about trial and error. So you'll get the hang of it. If you have some more deep diving questions about something very particular, leave in the comments or send me a direct message on Facebook or something. I'll try to answer you, okay? So I'm here to help you. So I'll do what I can for you. But I hope that some of that answer actually did help you quite a bit. I hope so. Driz, 1717. Can you make a burger out of ground ribeye? Do it! Yeah, I can definitely do that. In fact, I did do it with some ground meat, some prime ground beef that Lobel sent me. But I know what you're talking about. You want me to grind it myself, and you want me to make a burger and cook it. Great suggestion. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I like burgers, man. Chevy, 11/21/1947. Keep them coming. I see you have on a T-Roy Cooks shirt. Are you selling them? No, Chevy, I'm not, man. My buddy Daryl over at Bad Beast Barbecue made that for me. It's a one-of-a-kind In fact, I think he's just starting up his own website. If his website's up, where he's making people shirts and stuff, I'll go ahead and post that in the description box. So hit show more, open the description box, y'all find that down there. Bad Beast Barbecue. Go contact him if you need to at his YouTube channel. As I've mentioned before, hit the about section, get his email. Another question for you from Chevy. When I watch barbecue pitmasters, the teams are sometimes cooking 10 pork butts and 10 ribs and much more. They only turn in a small amount of meat to the judges. The question to you is, why or what do they do with the rest of the meat? Thanks, Troy. They can either sell it there to the, because usually they're at like a rodeo championship or something going on, or like Memphis in May itself is a large like convention where a bunch of people get together. So they've got fans that come by and check out their trailers and oversee what they're doing, just watch them, trying to learn little tips and tricks and secrets as they're cooking their Q. So once they've turned in the meat that they want to the judges, they can either sell the leftovers or they can give out free samples, those kinds of things. Usually the meat doesn't go to waste, usually. But yeah, sell it or give it away. Great questions, man. Thank you for that, Chevy. Appreciate it, bro. River Smokers. This is my buddy Rich, I believe. He just started a channel too. Y'all go check him out. He does some good stuff. Let's see. In fact, I just watched. Man, it was like a 40-minute video where he cooked. His twins have celebrating the fifth birthday. Can't talk. He did a brisket, pork butt, and some chicken, turkey breast. That's a great video, Rich. Appreciate that, man. That was good. You did a good job, man. That bark on that brisket, that was excellent, partner. Hey, T-Roy, congrats on the 20th episode. Thank you very much. I was wondering if you ever use fresh hardwood to smoke with, or do you always use or do you always buy store-bought per se? It says, I use the seasoned fresh fruit wood, and most of the time I like that fruit wood taste. But I don't hate on the nut woods. Thanks, T-Roy. Cheers. Yeah, I use seasoned wood. I buy wood from a local place that caters to the local restaurants here in the Austin area. So I get the same wood that they use at their restaurants and the barbecue joints around here is what I'm saying. And it's seasoned, and they have quite a few different varieties of wood you can choose from. I usually trade it up. Sometimes, like right now, I'm using pecan. Next time I order from them, I'll probably get a post oak or something. And if I buy it from the store, a lot of times I don't use a lot of that stuff. But it's really seasoned, really dry wood, so it burns fast. And I'll usually get either some type of fruit wood, but more likely I'll get some mesquite or some hickory just to throw on my Weber Smoky Mountain in case I want to try like some fajita meat, some skirt steak or flank steak or something, or tri-tip. Those stronger woods, they're better for the larger cuts of meat. But man, I'll tell you what, they make an awesome skirt steak for fajitas, flank steak. Good stuff. All right, next question. David and Janet Leatherwood. Dear T-Roy, have you ever smoked a pork brisket? Cook it like a beef brisket? I've never seen a pork brisket. I'd sure like to smoke one though, and yeah, I would do it real similar to how I would do just a regular beef brisket. Depending on how it acted towards the end of the cook, I may wrap it, maybe I won't. I usually don't wrap my meat though, even with pork, like my ribs and stuff, I usually don't wrap, or very rarely wrap. But yeah, I'd like to try that sometime. Drew 1355 says, Smoky Ribs is doing a barbecue side series. What are your favorite sides? I answered this one a couple of Thursday chats ago, I believe. I like macaroni and cheese. I like homemade potato salad and baked beans. And you know what's really good for barbecue? Peach cobbler made in a Dutch oven or an iron skillet. I gotta do that on video one time. Man, that's good. Oh, getting myself worked up over here. I apologize. My throat's hurting, y'all. It's getting dry. It really is. Jake Skirko. Hi T. Roy, I have a few questions. I have a Weber Smoky Mountain and wanted to ask, what is your recommendation for ribs? What temp and how long for baby backs and St. Louis ribs? 225 or 275 degrees? Baby backs are going to cook faster than your St. Louis. And like I just said, I rarely wrap. The one time I did wrap, I tried a 3-2-1 method, and I think I was cooking like 225. And my ribs were, they were almost mushy. They were, you can take the rib, twist it, and pull it straight out. But some folks love that. Me personally, I like to have a little bite so that if I bite into the rib, I see my teeth mark, my little curve, from my front teeth here. So I like to have a little bite. But yeah, if you like that, pull off your bone type rib, fall off the bone type rib, go ahead and wrap. But generally, I cook 225 because I'm a firm believer in lower cooking is better for the meat and the tenderness and the flavor. If I'm rushed, I'll cook faster at higher heats, but usually 225. Baby back ribs, unwrapped, generally take 5.5 hours. If I'm cooking St. Louis, also again unwrapped at 225 Fahrenheit, those usually take 6 to 6.5 hours. Okay, and that's doesn't matter if I'm cooking on my Weber Smoky Mountain or my Yoder Wichita. The times, or my Kamado Joe, the times are all pretty much the same, give or take half an hour to 45 minutes either way. Let's see what else. Tom's Barbecue Pit Stop, another great channel. Y'all go check him out. Okay, another question for a future Q&A. What are your barbecue goals and dreams? Do you want to one day open a barbecue place? No, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to open any kind of barbecue joints. I'm just not. I like cooking for small groups, family and friends, but I don't want to make a living doing that. That's a lot of time you'll spend in a building, managing it, running it. A lot of headaches, trying to please the customers is always a headache. Even if you've got fine product out there, you're always going to have some people that just, like, people watch my videos, give me thumbs down, leave me nasty comments. You're always going to have people like that. But at least on the videos, I don't see them face to face. I don't care about them. I just block them so that they don't bother me anymore or leave curse words on my channel. Because I know y'all got the kids watching. I try to keep all that stuff off my channel. But if they were face to face with me and said to me they didn't like my food, what am I to do? Refund their money and ask them to leave? That's about all I can do. But I'm not very argumentative at all. I don't like being in arguments, and I just wouldn't want to have to deal with all that crap. Plus, you've got the like here in Austin, man, the city government and their regulations are crazy. You got to have so many permits. It's nuts, man. It's really nuts. I don't see how a lot of these businesses that have restaurants here locally, I don't see how they make it, man. It's crazy. All right, next question from Tom's Barbecue Pit Stop. Do you want to one day offer barbecue classes? Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. I mean, that would be fun. I think that would be fun. And I've mentioned before, if I do decide to go that route, I enjoy teaching. I enjoy helping others learn and try to help them save from making the mistakes that I made. So I could definitely do that. And if I do, I'll let everybody know. Do you want to have your own barbecue sauces and rubs? Yep, definitely want to try doing that too, which here pretty soon I'm probably going to be able to. I found out this past week that May 12th will be my last day at work. We were bought out by a different company, and they asked me to move to Denver if I wanted to stay with the company, and I just declined the offer. So May 12th is my last day officially working. And after that, I'm going to do the full-time YouTube and love life and enjoy cooking for you fine folks, and hopefully y'all help support me. I mean, selling rubs and sauces and stuff like that. So there you go. It's out there. Where do you want your barbecue journey to lead you if you had to pick a destination? What's interesting to me is, and it's already happened to me, I've met so many wonderful friends, and not only barbecue cooks or other people with channels on YouTube. Like if I go to a YouTube event, you know, I'll meet other people that have other channels. But I've actually met fans, you know, going out and meeting fans. I'm starting to get recognized when I go to my local grocery store and stuff. It's really cool, you know, and I enjoy stopping what I'm doing and chatting with them and thanking them for watching and supporting my channel and helping it grow. You know, that's fun. So I would say I'm already doing a lot of that. I like getting out and traveling and visiting other people and exploring different areas of the country and testing out different styles of barbecue and different methods of cooking. So that's what I call fun, and I may have the ability to do that, some traveling and stuff coming up. So y'all stick around for that. I'd love to do that. Elton's Barbecue Pit. Great questions and answers yet again there, Troy. Question for an upcoming session. Have you ever used a Weber Smoky Mountain as a pit barrel cooker or UDS? Cheers, brother. No, I have not. And this is my good friend Jatil. Do I have my Jatil hat on? I do. I'm wearing your hat, buddy. There you go. That was good timing. Jatil, Elton's Barbecue Pit. Y'all go check him out. I'll put a link up here for you, Jatil. I appreciate the hat, man. He's around Norway. My brother from over the big pond over there. Does some great stuff. In fact, he was the one I was mentioning that does the cold smoking. And if you're interested in doing some cold smoking, he's got some videos showing you how he does it. And they look great, man. Great stuff. But I've never tried using my Weber Smoky Mountain as an ugly drum smoker or a pit barrel cooker. The Weber Smoky Mountain, you know, if I didn't have a UDS or if I didn't have a pit barrel cooker, I would probably try to find that accessory that Justin used on his Weber Smoky Mountain. I forget the name of it, but it was like $50 or something, and it's an accessory for the Weber Smoky Mountain that you can use, and it comes with hooks. It fits in the top. You take the grates out in the water pan, but it fits in the top section under the lid, and you can hang meat from it. It's like a crossbar, or two crossbars that go across where the top grate would be, and they have hooks that you can put in the meat and hang the meat vertically within your Weber Smoky Mountain. So I think that would work great. Justin over Baby Back Maniac said he likes doing that, so I think that would work great, man. But I've never tried converting my Weber Smoky Mountain over. Let's see. I think I'm just about done here. Yeah, let me answer one more question for you. John Diotto. When using the Weber Smoky Mountain for extended periods of time, like 17 hours, how often or how many times did you have to add coals? He's asking a couple of questions, but this is one. Usually, and I've got the 22 inch, I think the 18 inch is a little different, but generally if it's summertime, all right, summertime and wintertime, I get different, the different times will vary. It's less in the wintertime because it's colder outside and you're having, the Weber Smoky Mountain is having to maintain temps. In the summertime, usually you've got the sun and the heat bearing down on that Weber Smoky Mountain, and it helps keep it hot, so your fuel doesn't burn up quite as soon as in the wintertime. But generally speaking, if I'm cooking on my 22.5 inch Weber Smoky Mountain at 225 in the summertime, and I put a full load, that's like what, about 18-pound bag of charcoal, Kingsford Blue. If I put that in my Weber Smoky Mountain and light it using the Minion method, which I've seen me use before, I'll usually get, in summertime, a good, I'd say 12 to 15 hours, possibly a little more, depending on the wind. In the wintertime, I may only get 8 to 12 hours on a full load. And generally speaking, my meat is done before that 12th hour, before that 15th hour. If I need to add more charcoal, what I do, I wait until I've got just a few glowing ashes, like maybe, I don't know, 10 little small cubes of glowing charcoal left in the bottom. And what I'll do is just open the door and throw some charcoal briquettes in there next to where those ones are lit. So that way, those that are lit will light the new ones that I just threw in, and I don't lose that much heat. I don't lose time trying to refuel it or anything. And when I'm adding that additional charcoal, it may just be 5 or 10 briquettes. It's not very much, because again, usually my meat's already getting close to being done about that point, so I don't need to keep it going much longer. Another thing you could do when it's that close to being, let's say you're cooking oh heck, I don't know, let's say you're cooking a brisket, and it's at that 12th or 13th hour, and your smoker may start to be coming down, instead of 225, it may be creeping down to 215 or so, 220. So you're starting to lose the heat because your charcoals are burning out. At that point, go ahead and add more charcoal. But what you could also do, you could also take your meat off, wrap it in some butcher paper or some tin foil, finish cooking it in the oven until it reaches the proper internal temp that you're shooting for. So that way you don't have to add more fuel to the cooker. I've done that, it works great. That's all I got for you folks. That feels like it's been like an hour, man. Anyway, thanks again for all these great questions. Y'all had some good ones today. I really appreciate it. And I went through quite a bit of them. So if y'all have got questions after seeing this one, go ahead and ask them in the comments down below. I'll be sure and add them to my list for a future chat. Not the next one, but a future one. And if y'all like this kind of stuff, please continue the great feedback. Thank you so much for all of the support. Y'all, give me a thumbs up if y'all do still enjoy this. And I hope you share the video with all of your friends. And please tell them to check out John Big Meat Sunday's channel and share the videos that he makes with all your friends too. How about that, John? Again, hope you share the video. Tell all your friends that we love them. Cheers, everybody. We'll see y'all next Thursday. Later. T-Roy cooks responsibly.